Hello, everybody. My name's Kanaminika, and I wasn't gonna buy this figure. I think you all would know this. I'm pretty sure I've said in a previous similar video to this, I have made my trepidation for this figure quite clear. However, I was tempted. I saw reviews over the course of a year or so, and then they announced essentially a remold of this figure that made me want to see if the original figure was any worth it, because the remold of this figure is definitely overpriced, if anything. But that doesn't matter. What matters is today we are going to see if my emotions have changed about something I never really intended to pick up in the first place. Because today we are taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series 86, number 31, Commander Class, Optimus Prime. Yeah, I really never intended to pick this figure up. I already have a G1 Optimus, his name's Earthrise, and also I already have Siege. And with Earthrise, I was already trepidatious to buy it because I already liked the Siege version a lot. So I was like, I don't know if I want to buy Earthrise. And then I bought Earthrise, and I really liked that figure as well. I think I love them both equally for different reasons. But then I saw this figure, and I was like, I don't need another G1 Optimus Prime. I really like Earthrise, and this one's even more expensive than that. But it's been a year or so since it came out as of the time of me recording this, and I caved. I was just like, yeah, I think I should pick it up. I also don't usually get the Studio Series 86 line. I like accuracy as much as the next toy reviewer, but it's not my only focus or whatever. I try to just look at whatever catches my eye and looks cool and looks fun. As you can tell, I have a very eclectic action figure taste, so I don't have time for everything in every line. I only go for what interests me, and somehow this managed to interest me. But yeah, why don't we take a look at the packaging? So as you can tell, it's a fairly standard Studio Series package, which is unfortunately a little bland, though this one does manage to rise above the rest. We have our generic sort of like black main border with the blue line that says Studio Series that gets us to the 8631, because it's the 86 subline, number 31. They've done away with the subline and titles and stuff. They just call it whatever. With the red line there, we have that he's an Autobot and his name is Optimus Prime, that it's for ages 8 and up, even though this video is for ages 13 and up. This is intended for adult collectors and whatnot. It's by Hasbro, it's a Transformers figure, and it's part of the Generations series. It's also in collaboration with Takara Tomy. It's also from Transformers the movie. That's always a cool logo to see. But then we get this really, really nice art showing Optimus in both robot mode and truck mode from the big Autobot City fight from the start of the film. This is really nice and makes this a very nice collectible box. Even if mine has a big dent in it, I'll live. And we get renders here, very small, of Optimus in robot mode and Optimus in truck mode. At the bottom, we'll quickly go over it because it has legalese and any sort of barcode you might get from the place you ordered it. It doesn't really matter. At the top, you get the Transformers the movie logo again within this sort of black bordered box like you've seen on previous Studio Series releases, or blue bordered box, sorry. And then you have an image of the truck mode with the blast effects to help make it do the thing from the movie, which is nice to be included. And on either side, we get a version of the same art. We have Optimus Prime standing in that very particular pose that he does towards the start of the film at the beginning of the Autobot City battle, where he's like, I have to stop Megatron no matter the cost. I don't remember the quote. I'm sorry. I'm bad at it. Also, editor, for this opening shot, if you could show video comparison, it's going to copyright claim the video, but it's a cool shot from his little Autobot City battle. You'll be able to find it. On this side, you get the usual Studio Series 86 side of the box. You get Optimus Prime right there, 8631 Studio Series, it's a Commander class, so on and so forth. And on the back, you get the general information about the figure. It's big screen inspired, scale, detail backdrop. It's the Battle of Autobot City, and we have Optimus Prime ready for battle as he joins the Autobot City defense to stop the Decepticons, no matter the cost. It's a cool scene, I'll admit, even though this is really the only scene where this character's like important, because then he gets fucking murdered. Transformers the movie, Optimus Prime, and it shows you everything this set can do. You have the main Optimus standing there. It's a 40-step conversion to get it into truck mode. You've got the roller and the air defense cannon or whatever that are able to connect to each other. You have the trailer in its bay form that's able to hold a bunch of the accessories and also hold Optimus as he's getting worked on. You also have the trailer in its normal base mode, where it's able to hold all that stuff, but horizontally. And you have it standing with the backdrop, because the backdrop is included, even though it's cardboard. You know how these things go. Anyhow, this is a big box for a figure that's going to be relatively small, all things considered, so let's get it unboxed, shall we? There we are. Haven't unboxed a Transformer in a while, especially not one this big. And there's the diorama bit, it's Transformers 86. So, let's get everything slid out, shall we? And there you have it. That is everything you get in the box, as you can tell. Compared to other Commander classes we've seen, this is a bit of a small figure, but we'll get there. But first off, I think we should remove this so that we can look at that backdrop, which honestly looks very nice. It's the Autobot City sort of final battle, where Optimus and Megatron have their little whatever, their little shouting match before they kill each other. But it looks nice. It's very well drawn, very well detailed, and does a good job depicting what happens within the series. Now, it's time to get to the actual unboxing, which includes the fact that you get folded transformation instructions. They start small, but they're also thick, because there's just a lot going on. It's a 40-step transformation, because it's trying to be kind of masterpiecey. Yeah, it's big. We're going to start with the accessories, because that's a lot of what's actually helping this, I guess, cost as much as it does, or be worth it, or whatever. So we'll start there, seemingly, with this little pocket here, if I can get it out independently. It's taped in somewhat, so let's get the tape off. Come on. There we are. And stick it there, and pull it out. Here we have motherfucking blast effects. Like with a lot of commanders, you get blast effects, and also another effect, but blast effects, and it's very nice. They're a little rubbery, so since they are made of a rubbery material, I wouldn't recommend keeping them in, because having this rubbery material can damage the figure and the ports it goes into. So, without further ado, let's go into all the blast effects. First off, we get a pair of they're all unique, by the way. This isn't a situation of other Commander class figures where they've just essentially come with remolds of previous Siege effects. These are all brand new. First off, we have the cannon blasts, which, again, are very similar to MP44, the Masterpiece Optimus 3.0. They have the round end here before going into a straight beam. They look very nice. They are rubbery, so be careful about bending them. You take the blast effect. There's a little port here at the back, if it'll show up. There we are, you can see them. And you plunk it on the blaster and it's able to blast. You can also put it on, you can put it really on any blaster, but these don't work with 5mm ports, which is a little unfortunate, but they work on 3mm ports. So just keep that in mind. Like 3mm pegs, I should say. So keep that in mind. Let's stab into the rest of this baggie. Next up, this is mostly one set of blast effects, which seem to come in two parts. You have this pair, which they are different molds. One goes on one side, one goes on the other, and then you plug them in to these little ones that have like a base that are essentially a base of sorts. I think, and they seem keyed. Yeah, they're keyed. So hopefully you aren't going to plug them into the wrong one. So if it doesn't want to go in pretty quickly, switch to the other one, and then you get these. They have little rectangular ports here at the top. Again, in a fairly nice clear orange plastic, but these are meant for the truck mode, so it can be in that cool aerial pose, which is a very nice inclusion. It feels very Studio Series Z because it's a very specific moment that's very like iconic and cool and people love. So it makes sense to include these as blast effects. Anyhow, the final effect part gets us into like weapons and stuff. He has his Energon axe. It's a bit simple and a bit small, but it does get the job done. It has a port on the bottom because of the way that you attach it to the hand. Or not hand, but you know what I mean. And it has a very nice shape to it. And I really like the way that the clear rubbery plastic kind of turns a little greenish towards the tips where it's a bit thinner. At least in this lighting. It has a very interesting effect, and it makes it look like those are just like almost like bluing itself up. Like those are hotter than even the orange energy at the of the majority of the axe. It's a very nice effect that I'm not sure was 100% intentional, but I'm glad it's happening anyways. But yeah, it's a very nice Energon axe. I believe all those accessories can be stored on the vehicle, so I don't have a baggie on me right now, so yeah. Next accessory is his other weapon to go with the Energon axe, that being his Ion Blaster. And I do have to admit, this is the best looking Ion Blaster I think on the market. It looks so nice and accurate to the original series, and it's very nicely painted. There's a little bit of extra silver in there, which is not super noticeable, but it's a nice touch because it really helps to differentiate it overall. It doesn't have a 5mm hole here, but it does have that port, so that if you so choose for whatever pose you do, you can plug in one of these blast effects and go pew pew. Yeah, it's just so perfectly shaped, like that classic Ion Blaster, and it is the best Ion Blaster. This is a legitimately just so good, such a great part of this figure, and yeah, I think it was very well done. Next up, we're getting into trailer parts. So first off is, I guess, the one that's a little bit more divorced. These are parts that I haven't had a version of, unfortunately. Or this part I haven't had a version of because it was in an accessory pack for the Earthrise version. It comes with roller. It has like minifigure ports, so there's not super much you can fit into those. I think they are compatible with the Titan Masters from Titan's Return, but it's roller. It's all the wheels are pinned, which is very nice and very premium. The base is a bit of an ugly gray, but you're not really gonna look at that too much because your eye is mainly drawn to the silver up top here, which is just so pretty, and it's full of also just nice, simple mechanical detail. It looks very nice, and it's good to have a roller. I haven't had a roller yet, so I guess this is like the thing I needed to get out of the set. I didn't have a roller before, so it's nice to have a roller. It probably won't fit in the Earthrise one because it's probably too wide, because it's mainly meant for this trailer, which we can get to. But yeah, it's nice to have a roller. Next up, we're thoroughly in trailer territory here with this item, or this part. We get the anti-aircraft gun. I remember the name of it. And it seems like a fully featured one. As you can see, it's a little bit crumpled up for the sake of the box, but there is a opening window compartment, I think. I'm not sure if you can fit literally anything into there. I don't think Headmaster, or Titan Masters, I should say, will fit in there. It's just openable for the sake of being openable, unfortunately, because there's no, like, Diaclone pilots for this line or whatever, because it is the anti-aircraft gun. It's on some joints, so looks like there's some jointage down here, too. There is a hinge here, and a hinge back here as well. So there's a hinge here, and a hinge here, and a hinge here, so I can get up all the way like that. So it's fully articulated as you would expect, so I can crumple down, and then get up. And then you have a sort of antenna piece, which has a hinge there. It doesn't swivel, unfortunately, and that's about all you can get there. And then, does this swivel? It does swivel here at the head so that you can get that turning as well, just like the original. And then you have the arm here, which is able to swivel all the way around. And then there's a mushroom peg there that swivels. And then you have a hinge, and a hinge. And this is an opening claw, it appears. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to open because it is so small. But you do have an opening hinge, which can open and close, which is nice. And then you have two ports here at the bottom, which if you so choose, you can, like the original toy, attach to roller to have like this battle vehicle. However, this isn't really meant to be super plugged in there all the time, at least, because this is meant for the final accessory and a piece that, I don't know, potentially is more expensive to produce than the figure itself. I don't think that's the case, but it's theoretically possible. We have the primary accessory that makes Optimus Primes expensive if they are going to be a nice Optimus Prime, the trailer, which I think I'm gonna have to zoom out for as an accessory, so let's get cut out. Here we have the trailer. First off, let's get it into on its own position. So we can either flip these out to have it be more like a real trailer, or like a real truck trailer, which we can do for now. But yeah, it is a much nicer, sturdier plastic than the Earthrise one. The Earthrise one is very thin and has a kind of ugly gray. This gray is, it's somewhat metallic, I think, but it's a nice, shiny, sheened, high-quality feeling plastic. It's also nice and thick, so it feels a lot more premium and a lot more worth the price. And then you also have the blue down here, which is its own plastic, which has its own demarcation, and also you have pinned wheels. Again, I think all the wheels are pinned here, which is a nice sign. But yeah, it just looks nice and premium, and then it also has the painted stripe. Since it is meant to be a cartoon-accurate one rather than a toy-accurate one, it's just a simple gray line with the Autobot symbol picked out right there, but it is nice and clean-looking. It does look good. Final thing, this apparently fits small deluxe cars, but you can open the trailer from here already and just plonk that out, get it down, and roll cars up into there. For now, let's show Roller doing that. Yeah, it's a playset. It's very fun, but yeah. From here, I think it makes sense to go into battle station mode. So first off, we're gonna wanna flip that down. Then we're gonna take these, flip them out to about 90 degrees. They can go further, but you don't necessarily need to. And you just swivel that there, and then you have the struts. There's a little bit of hollowness on them, but that's okay. And then you take the trailer and you split it in half. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. And then you get the inside. Unfortunately, it's a bit hard to fit into the frame, but the inside isn't painted at all, but it is full of sculpted detail that I'm sure you can take a paintbrush to yourself or get some stickers. But yeah, you can see the entirety of the interior of it, and you have some ports for the sake of accessory storage. Like I can see that there's stuff that goes there. And then you can, of course, the primary accessory that goes in here is the anti-aircraft gun. You just plonk it right there, and then boom, bada bing, bada boom. Now that's stored in there for all time. I'm probably never going to take it out of there. And it can be articulated there, which is nice. And of course, you can get it into metabay mode by standing it up. There's the full extent of it for the sake of footage. But yeah, it looks fairly nice. I kind of wish the interior was painted, but I get it. I'll live. But yeah, nice trailer. Good trailer. Probably the best trailer I own, though I guess there's not a lot of competition. Well, maybe Armada's is better because it can be legs, but I forgot to mention the trailer port. I think it's compatible with 5mm bits and basically compatible with every other Optimus on the market. So yeah, that's nice. That's all the accessories, which is honestly a pretty nice spread, of course, since the main figure is a bit small. Now it's time to get there, to that main figure, the main event that most people are here for, Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime in all his glory. So, he is in some plastic tabs, as with everything, so we're going to need to take a second to cut him out. So 1, 2, 3, and there's one around each leg. And then his backpack is in that bit of cardboard, so you just got to finagle it a little bit. Let's move the cardboard out of the way and take a look at Optimus Prime himself. He's big for, I guess, what you'd expect, but he's not like the biggest guy in the world. He's obviously generation scaled, and he's slightly bigger than Earthrise Prime, but he isn't like super big commander that you would expect from like the earliest commanders. This is like modern leader scaled, which is like not the biggest thing in the world. I can take like a 6-inch figure. I'm gonna take Captain Rex, I guess, from Star Wars Black Series. So you can see he's about 7-ish inches tall, which is a fair size. Not the biggest thing in the world, but obviously there's a lot of accessories that come in this set and a lot of just other stuff in general. So let's get in on the details. Starting off with the head, it's a really interesting head sculpt, all things considered. It's a lot rounder than I first expected it to be when I first thought or heard of Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. I don't think it's my favorite Optimus head sculpt. I still think the Siege Earthrise mold is exquisite, and like one of the best things that's ever been done in Transformers. I think it's just a quintessential Optimus Prime head. But yeah, this one isn't bad either. Again, it's a bit round for what I'm expecting. I think from what I've seen, the Skybound version of this mold does look a little bit more like I was expecting, but it does help this one stand out and feel a little bit unique. And it's also a bit small. I think that's something worth noting about this Optimus. The head is small and the body is very large. It's a kind of trend I think I've noticed about a lot of modern generations since like Siege-ish, and especially Earthrise, that they like making figures wider than I would personally expect them to be. He has a very wide torso, which I guess is partially caused visually illusion-y by like having very long legs, which Transformers tend to do. And this one certainly has a longer torso than Earthrise does. But it's certainly a broader torso than I would expect, but it doesn't look bad. I really like the way the grille is done here, and the gray stripe does look nice, and it's quite well painted. And the blue and the truck tits or whatever, they have a nice metallic sheen behind them, kind of like Kamen Rider SH Figuarts eyes, which are very nice. And thankfully mine isn't too scraped up, really. I don't seem to have too many bad QC issues on mine, actually, which is very nicely appreciated, especially for something this expensive. Quick note, the smokestacks, they feel loose. I don't really like how that feels, just on first blush. We might as well talk about it now. He's got a backpack. It's not something I necessarily mind too much. I'm willing to give benefit of the doubt, or whatever the term should be, to the fact that Optimus Primes are going to have backpacks, especially if they're doing something that this one's trying to do. It's a bit large, certainly. While being large, this isn't a situation of the Bumblebee movie Optimus, where his backpack is large, but also harms the silhouette from the front. The silhouette is already wide, so Whatever the backpack is doing isn't really doing much to disrupt the size of the torso, and it kind of fits into the general aesthetic of your expected Optimus Prime, so I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. The arms are nice and blocky. They're actually really nice. I really like how they look. The Autobot symbol is quite exquisite here. It's very pretty. Just being that white outline, it's very, very, very good. But yeah, they have a nice blocky aesthetic to them. There's a little bit of gappy feelingness here, but it isn't that bad. But it does look very nice, and it has just that nice aesthetic. Do I wish there was more detail? As someone who kind of likes Toy Colors Optimuses, sure, but I'll live. Upper legs, they are in a very nice white. I think they might be they're either painted or they might be plastic, I'm not sure, but it is a very nice white. Just a very nice bright white, and I do like the way that the crotch is done. It's not the perfect Optimus crotch shape for me, but it does work well. Plus, it's like it is kind of classic Gundam-y waist armor, so that's nice. And it's, again, very nicely detailed. It doesn't feel too detailed. Siege is very hyper-greebled, which I do also like. And like Legacy in general is pretty hyper-greebled, but this one, in being a Studio Series figure, is intentionally a little bit under-detailed, but it doesn't feel under-detailed. Which is nice to see and nicely appreciated. I didn't note the hands, though. They are really interesting in that they are just, like, fully articulated hands, which is kind of crazy. They do look nice, if a bit small, again, because of that fact, but you can get him to, if I can get this shit to move, like an open hand so he can, like, wave and be like, hello, or whatever. Or you can get him to point, or you can get him to play piano like that one leak, which is very cool. I do like that. It's a little bit tight, though, there, getting it. I guess you gotta bend the finger first if you're gonna get it into a full fist and then bend it in. Okay, I see. A little bit of order of operations, but I guess that's Transformers for ya. Lower legs are big and chunky, and also, as a side note, I believe this is the corrected version. The original release of this figure had these flipped upside down. It wasn't a big issue, but it was annoying to say the least, but I do have a fixed version, and ooh, that's a lot of nice greebled mechanical detail here at the back of the legs. That's very nice. You have your silver canisters here for the side of the truck, and then you have these. I kind of wish I prefer somewhat an Optimus with the wheels on the side and the vents in silver, but this isn't bad. It does replicate the movie look very well. Again, I think the fact that it's all one color kind of helps to wash out the detail a little bit more, so it does look, at least from afar, like that movie aesthetic that you would expect. But yeah, it does look nice, and I am pretty happy with the aesthetics. But yeah, anyhow, I think it's time to get into articulation. This is an Optimus Prime in Commander class, so that means it's kind of, it does have a budget, but it was unrestrained from the budget you would expect, so hopefully this has some nice articulation, so let's see. The ears, I believe, are movable, but that's mainly for transformation. The main thing you want to look at is that the head is only on a singular ball joint. I wish it had a bit more, given the price. He's not really able to look up or down that far. He's not really able to tilt as much as you would like. But yeah, he is able to thoroughly swivel his head, though. Shoulders is where some crazy stuff happens. Obviously, the smokestacks are on swivels. You've seen that. I don't really like how loose they are. You start off with your usual shoulder articulation for a Transformer, a full swivel, and a hinge outward, up 90 degrees. But also, if you unlock it, he does have a butterfly joint. You gotta first move it back, it seems, but there is a butterfly joint in there. There we are. You gotta unlock it a bit. But I think it was initially for transformation, but he does have a butterfly, which is great to see because that means he can do more interesting poses, and it goes about that far. And yeah, it's just a bit hard to get out. No real torso bend. It's really just a swivel, but a swivel isn't bad in this instance. Waist armor does have articulation so it can get out of the way. You have these on hinges. They're tight. Lots of tight joints on this. You're able to swivel that out. There's also a back panel that you're also able to swivel out, which leaves us with these independent hips, which you're able to kick forward about that far, backward about that far, basically all the way, and outward that far. Again, you are basically unimpeded thanks to these very nice hip skirts. You have a thigh swivel. I think it does stop itself, so you can't get full rotation forward or backward, but you get enough. You don't need more than that, if I'm going to be honest. You have a single-jointed bend at the knee, unfortunately. I kind of wish it was double-jointed, but the single joint does get more than enough, really. And then the ankle articulation, let's check that. Okay, there's a full ankle. Good. You can't. I wish it moved forward and backward. I get why it doesn't, but you do get a full ankle tilt, which is good to see. You just have to unlock it first again. Yeah, their articulation is quite good. I didn't go over the full arms today. You have your bicep swivel at the arm, single jointed bend, which is probably the most disappointing joint. It only goes 90 degrees. You have a swivel at the wrist, which Does it have any? No, it doesn't. Just a full swivel at the wrist. And then you have your fingers, which have your trigger finger, 3-finger split, but it doesn't change the articulation too much. You have a joint at the knuckle, and you have a joint at the tip of the finger, which allows for stuff like that to be done, which is nice to see. And you can full fist them, and then you're good. But yeah, the articulation on this Optimus, I wish there was a little more. Again, I say that just because this is very expensive. It's like $90, which is a lot of money, all things considered, given the size of this thing. And I'm making comparisons in my head with the sheer size and goodness of the Armada Commander Optimus. That one's just big, and it's also got good articulation. But this one does have nice articulation. I think it's better than the Earthrise. But one quick check. He does have, if you open up the windows, he does have a matrix chamber. Very small matrix, because it's the same mold that they've been using since the start of Studio Series 86, since Earthrise, I think, really, actually. So yeah, that's there. It's nicely painted. That counts as an accessory as well, but it has the full chamber where you gotta open up this first, and you also have those. What I think I'm gonna do now is, because I think a lot of this does have to also go into, outside of the aesthetic like this, it also has to do with the engineering of the transformation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some time away with it. Presumably I'll probably get back to this tomorrow, and I'll have done the transformation. So yeah, let's do that. Put like a speedrun timer, I guess. That'd be funny to be like, first transformation, speedrun. That's Optimus. That is looking like a truck with legs. I horrifically missed something. Shit. Okay, there's a thing here that you just have to open and then close again. I did not realize. This isn't as bad as Bumblebee movie Optimus. I fucking hate that thing's transformation, especially the legs. And time. Turns out it was just like a couple minutes, but here we are with the toy transformed. I'm finally doing transformations in unboxings. That's crazy. What an unprecedented time we live in. But I wanted to get a good feel for the transformation, and this is off of a singular transformation, but it was pretty cool, all things considered. There was a lot of interesting panel work, but it never felt too much, really. There was just one annoying bit where you did a thing and then undid a thing in the truck front bed or whatever. But otherwise, it moved pretty well, and you've got your flatbed as well. Also, it's fairly solid in both modes, which I can appreciate, given other Studio Series figures' proclivities to not do that. But there's one main qualm, I think. There are some bits that are really annoying. Like, obviously, you have the butterflies that don't really like to work already. These are also, I think, slightly... the tabs here that go into the front of the truck are a little bit misformed, so it's not fully lying on the wheels. Like, they're kind of there. Not really, and it's a little bit bent more than I would like, but yeah, the transformation isn't too bad. Like, the legs are really just a couple of steps, all things considered. Like, it's 40 steps, but every step is well thought out and well engineered, and it hides itself very well, all things considered. Like, you have that little bit of gray there, but otherwise, it's, like, all good. I have my qualms with Red Cube Optimus. I think I do really need the silver strip to be there for me to really get a good feel for an Optimus. But this isn't bad. It has some very nice design bits. It's a very well-realized truck cab otherwise. The grille is very nice. The bumper is very nice. I really love the headlights. The windows also look good. Everything does just work very well. I've got some, I think, weird glue on this side, though, so... All the reds look nice except for this one. These two do not match super well, but that'll live. The back is fairly flat. I kind of wish there was some detailing here, especially given, I believe, well, these interior parts would be visible, but like these wouldn't be. But it does reveal some nice interior detailing when you do flip the leg panels upward. It does look nice, and I do like the way that you have to flip out the wheels. That's a very fun bit of transformation. Plus, when you flip it to its underside, well, this should be expected for an Optimus. Not a ton of him is visible, so the windows are also nice. They're clear, but also have that silver backing, which does look good. I'm having a hard time because I don't really judge vehicles, but the main thing about this is that it comes with its trailer. So I guess let's get the whole shebang together. As you see, there's a peg, there's a port. You plug it in, and it's nice and loose, which is good. And it's a little ways off of the truck bed, so that's nice. And We're able to drive it around, and this does have a serviceable scale. It very much is a lot of just like, we slapped a box onto it, but the box does give it some significant girth. Also, the box, I forgot, does have some extra functionality, if I remember correctly. I believe you can open, somewhere on here, you can open up like a box, essentially. Like, there's like I think you can flip this panel down and like use it for storage. I'll have to check. I'll have to consult the instructions because I don't want to break this because it's expensive. But yeah, I think that's good. It's a good figure, I have to admit. I'm not as enamored with it, I think, as other people will be just because of my taste, but it is very good, and I think I just need to handle it for a bit longer to really get a feel for it. So I'm gonna do that, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what other Transformers I've missed out on and I should try to take a look at just because of my weird biases. Do the usual YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz for more videos like this, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!